One
Do it.
second. All right, I appreciate you, coming on this. This is awesome. So I have a few other Division One and pro baseball players that have come on here, and I just wanted to start with you. Tell me a little bit about where you're from, your background, your college and coaching journey so far.
Yeah, my name is LA Gamo. I'm known on Instagram as Baseballogist. I'm 33 years old now. I've played all my life, high school, varsity, JUCO, university baseball out in San Marcos in San Diego. Played 4 years. Played for the Filipino national team, and I've always been a student of the game. When I was 19 years old is when I started helping to coach and just to make a few bucks. When you're
Mm,
19 years old and you're a broke college student, making $25 an hour doesn't sound too bad.
right.
Um, and then it just like I loved it because it really made me see the game from a different lens. And fast forward to 10 plus years later, I'm still the best student I know, and I just made it a profession, and it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's fantastic to give back to the youth, especially kids that are wanting to learn, and you've done it yourself, so you can live through their shoes. They can live through your shoes
Mhm.
as well. If you were 14 to 17 again, what's one thing you would have changed, about your path? And, what were some of the hard points that you pulled yourself through to get to the end to see the light?
Really maximizing my resources and being and working at what I suck at. So when I say maximize my resources, like say for today, is there's so many resources, whether you have the money or not. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's anything that you could just really form a certain way of thinking for your philosophy of whatever you're doing. It could be hitting or pitching or anything. So utilizing resources and working on what you suck at or work on what you struggle at. I work with so many kids where they show me their stats. They show me their videos of them dropping bombs, like, all right, phenomenal. But then when I, test them out by throwing, say, middle away, throwing off speed, throwing low, high and up, then they expose what they struggle at. But I could tell they don't work on it. And that's probably something that I didn't really focus on is working on what I struggled at an early age. And that's why I'm inspired to be the coach I am today is because I wish a coach were to call me out on those certain things to help me, maybe excel a little more.
For sure, it's never ending battle, and it's constantly, you constantly got to keep grinding through it and focusing on the little things that you aren't so good at.
Yeah.
What's one big mistake you see players today make that you could say, hey, I would like it if, overall you work with a lot of players. So what's a few things, maybe one big thing that's like sparks your interest of we got to fix this. Let's work on it.
Worrying too much about the database, worrying too much about the exit velocity, worrying too much about the distance, worrying too much about the launch angle, worrying too much about numbers. And
Mhm.
it's so deceiving because the numbers will show you where you're at and you try to do better, but they don't know how to do better because they don't know the foundation of what they're doing, right? So for example, if my guy is stuck at a, you know, uh, actually my guy has a really foundational swing and he has a exit velocity of 80. Now he knows gradually as I get bigger, as I get stronger, as I work on this workout, as I understand this drill, oh shoot, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, etc. But then you have a guy who's hitting 90 and you see him at a showcase, you see him at a game or something, or even in training, and they're trying to go 91, 92, 93, 95, etc. Their swing is different. It's for the worse. And that is a lack of training. It's a lack of understanding, right? It's like if you and I were to max out with our bench press or let's say squat, we're not gonna we're not gonna change our technique. We're not gonna change the way we lift it. We just know that we're strong enough to be able to carry this weight because of the foundation of what we're doing. So I'm
For
so
sure.
big on foundation of your swing.
Right. Just getting, I mean, each hitter's a little different, training them to do different drills that require different movements, right? That's the name of the game. And being able to break that down piece by piece, saying, hey, like, you're moving well right now doing this, but we got to work on that for that purpose.
Yes.
You know, let's see. You know, what separates players who make it in today's world to play college ball? Because it's so hard to even play NAIA, D3, D2, let alone play D1, uh, to the ones that don't. Is it grit? Is it adversity? Is it work ethic? Is it, data-driven training? Is it, what do you think it is?
There's so many answers. So my answer
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
going to be the answer, but my favorite answer is it's the players that know how to work in silence. It's the players that know how to work not in front of the camera. It's the players that know how to work not in front of the hype, right? Those guys, I guess, to me, are very that have so much grit because they're playing for themselves versus playing for the camera, versus playing for their followers, versus playing for their dad or the clout, right? I mean, there's I can name a whole bunch of 12-year-olds have 5 to 10,000 followers on social media. They're playing because in their head they're a celebrity, but
right,
you're not a celebrity. You might be in that world, but in the world of you trying to play baseball, you're nowhere close to where you want to be. So it's that. It's knowing how to play, knowing that it's the game first and the hard work first versus the free stuff.
for sure, for sure. Kids nowadays they don't understand from when we were kids the complete difference of social media and playing for yourself and being who you are, the
Yep.
authentic version of you. Um, let's see. How did you grow your online presence to be what it is and have this huge, massive following behind you, and your approach to build your brand up to where it is?
Uh, there's no like definitive answer. I think it just comes down to I guess my last answer relates to this answer is I just
Mhm.
stuck in my own lane, right? I didn't want to copy anybody else because if I copied anybody else, you could easily be like, "Hey, he copied, etc." Right?
Mhm.
So for me, I just said, "What is going to make it super easy for me to create content and not feel like I'm trying?" Well, that's just being myself, right? So being myself is anything and everything in my life, whether it's baseball or anything I do, it's all about simplicity. I try to keep everything simple. If everything's simple, it's easier to do, it's duplicatable. Instructions are easy. It's easy to teach, easy to train. It's simplicity. So
Yeah.
I've trained myself to showcase and communicate 5 to 10 different ways per anything I talk about. So therefore, if I'm talking to little Johnny and I'm saying a phrase or a cue or feel or drill, and Johnny's not understanding it, it's my duty, my job to be able to communicate that in another way, another simple way. And that to me has been the my secret sauce to I guess my brand. And then just the way I even post. I'm very simple. You know, I have my phone, I have a tripod, and that's it. I edit my own stuff. It's not fancy. It's not really to captivate you and to it's really for the people who just want raw who just want to feel like they're sitting in the cage with me.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's
and
that's what it's about.
yeah. You know,
I
like if I have coaches or hitters in front of me, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to listen and watch. And I guess the way I've edited is you have the ability or the luxury, I'm using air quotes if no one sees this video, but the luxury of listening and seeing what we're talking about. So therefore you can form your own way of
opinion.
thinking, opinion. So,
For sure, for sure. Everyone's a little different and it's every family comes from a different background. So finding a way to explain it to them is key and vital. I have kids that, they pick it up right away. And then I have kids that, if they don't get it in 10 different ways I explain it, then you got to literally go way outside the box and be
yep.
super creative in the way you're explaining something. But yeah, I mean, I really appreciate, you coming on here. Everything you've said is kind of exactly what I want to be in this docu-series. Your story, your angle, and like the way you teach would be huge for kids and parents to see. and I'm hoping to spread this out to, hopefully the rest of the country. And that's kind of why I wanted to feature you in this episode. I'm glad I got you. You're a cool dude to be able to do this and give back, because most brand creators like yourself that did grow a massive following, they're like, who's this guy? I don't really care what he has to say, but I really appreciate your organic and authentic self. It means a lot. And if there's one last, kind of message maybe you'd want to share with, your community, the baseball community, the rest of the country, what would it be in your lens of perspective on this game?
Continue to get 1% better. And that phrase I feel like is watered down throughout life and be, oh,
Mhm.
okay, 1% cool. But if you were to do 14 minutes and 40 seconds of something per day to get better, that is 1% of your life. Only
Mhm.
14 minutes and 40 seconds. And if you could find a way to lock in, be super, super present with no distractions, work in silence, and be in your own element and be in the zone, no one, nothing, no words, no comment, no negativity will ever stop you because you believe in yourself. So, yeah.
100%. Cool.